So, who was Charles de Gaulle? Well, the BBC described him as a French general and statesman, who, as the leader of the French resistance during World War II, eventually became the president of France. He went to Paris to study at the prestigious Sciences Po University, which is where he met his wife, Yvonne, who would become the First Lady of France from 1959 to 1962 and again from 1966 to 1969. And he was a major influence in French politics for much of the latter half of the 20th century. Now, Charles de Gaulle was born in 1890 in the small village of Illy near the Belgian border. After enlisting in the army in 1912, de Gaulle quickly rose through the ranks, and by the time he was 32, he was one of the youngest commanders in the whole of the French colonial army in French Algeria, a position he held until 1969. During his first term, he oversaw the end of the Algerian War, and then he successfully managed to get himself re-elected for a second term in office. It was during this second term that France experienced a period of great social and economic change, which many historians refer to as the 30 Glorieuses or the 30 Glorious Years. In fact, it was during this time that he wrote a book about his experiences as a soldier, which made him quite famous across France. Whilst many of his fellow countrymen had collaborated with the Nazis, de Gaulle was a leading figure in the French resistance. After France fell to the Germans, he refused to collaborate and instead went to London, where he set up a government in exile and broadcasted back to France calling for the resistance against the Germans to continue. It was thanks to these broadcasts that de Gaulle became known as the symbol of resistance, even though his actual role in the resistance was quite limited. But it was during World War II that Charles de Gaulle really made a name for himself. And when the war was over, de Gaulle was a war hero, and he became the president of France in 1959. However, despite all of these accomplishments, de Gaulle resigned from being president in 1969, but he continued to be a major political figure in France until his death in 1970. Alright, so that is who Charles de Gaulle was. If you enjoyed this video, please do like, subscribe, and let me know if you want to see more videos about history.